Hey, welcome. Ooh, I'm hearing like a delay in my headphones, so I'm just going to take these off. But welcome to the Honest Trailer Commentaries for the Goodfellas. I'm here with Danielle the Fish Radford.
Hey, gabagoo.
And Lon the Brick Harris.
Hey, stunad. Bafango yourself, huh?
Now, someone give me a mob nickname because I'm feeling like an asshole over here. All right. Hey, what do you got?
Spenny bag of donuts.
Spenny bag of
Bag
donuts.
of donuts.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
That is the first, but not the last time we'll slip into that voice, and I apologize.
Is that racist? Tell us.
Yeah, put a poll in the comments.
It's like an ethnicity, so it's ethnicist.
Ethnicist, yeah. I hope it's taken in the spirit which it's intended, which is a parody of a certain type of film.
Yes.
Not a certain type of person.
Yeah.
And that is Goodfellas.
I think also as Jews, we're allowed to play Italians. There's a long-standing agreement. The Jews and the Italians, we're allowed to cross
and
over.
in this
And
movie,
once-
it's the other way around. It's
there was-
Lorraine Bracco going like, "Oi!"
Yeah, it's like, this is okay. We're all right with this. It's allowed. Under
We have an
the-
unspoken agreement.
under the Keitel Pacino agreement of
Yeah.
1973.
I'm going to let this half of the table.
We're allowed. Well, I mean, De Niro plays Sam Ace Rothstein in Casino. This is okay.
Yeah,
True story.
De Niro does that a lot.
Yeah.
We were talking about Oscar Isaac after Llewyn Davis gets a pass.
Yeah, well, he's right. He's I believe Guatemalan, but we've given him a.
the
Once you
Coen
work with the Coen brothers, if the Coen brothers sign off, you're okay. You're in.
So, we're going to talk about the film. Questions and comments might have to wait because comments are down on YouTube as this released. Or people are just ghosting us. They just have absolutely not even saying
They're done.
first. Not even
saying
commenting first.
Not even requesting that we do a Daredevil trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
What's happening?
Yeah, so
day.
I will have the actual live feed of the comments up here. So when I say ask questions, ask them, and I'll try to flag them right here.
There you go.
If we remember that, and we'll have some deleted scenes and stuff like that. So Goodfellas.
Forget about it.
It's a great movie. If you haven't seen Goodfellas, you should go do that. It is one of my favorites. It's also, as I am wont to call it, White Menace to Society.
That is the title.
Because for folks that don't get that, so when the brothers made Menace to Society in the commentary track, they're like, yeah, we were like, let's just do Goodfellas. And so we just did scene by scene Goodfellas.
You could pick worse movies to do a scene by scene,
really could.
a scene by scene of,
And
because
people have.
Yeah, and I think my big takeaway this time watching it was just how unreliable of a narrator Henry Hill is.
Oh my goodness.
The way that he's juxtaposing what he's saying with what you're seeing, I really picked up on more this time. I saw a lot more that guys, which ended up in the trailer.
yeah.
A lot more that guys than I
So
recall.
many
Like,
that guys.
that guy.
Yeah.
And I forgot C. So, Lon, what do you think about Goodfellas?
I mean, I agree with everything that's been said. One of my favorite movies, definitely one of my favorite Scorsese's, and I think it's because it's not relentlessly plot driven. It's not like we got to get you here, and then we got to get you here, then we got to get you here. And so it fills in a lot of that time that a lot of other movies would spend on setting things up and setup and payoff on just the world and
Yes.
taking in the vibe and the aesthetic and what it was like to be a gangster in New York in this time period. And it makes it lived in and so much more fun, especially to revisit.
Yeah.
Because you're not propulsively on your way to a conclusion. You're just like taking in the world of the mafia.
I'm just like slicing garlic with a razor, man. Just
Oh,
vibes.
I got to
Yeah.
try that.
I have tried that.
Yeah? So it
Yes.
liquefies in the pan in
It
the
does
sauce?
not.
Oh.
No.
Maybe you got to do it thinner.
I think I got to do it thinner.
need-
I think I'm not.
literally
It's
the
not as
razor.
transparent.
Yeah.
It's not as transparent.
Yeah.
Felt you put too many onions in, but it was
Too many
still a
onions.
very
Three
good
onions.
sauce.
Yeah, it's
Three
ridiculous.
onions.
But yeah, we didn't get to the food, but this is a great food movie.
Yeah.
There's so many
Oh my
good
gosh.
shots and just like literal cooking instructions.
Yeah.
That this is up there with like Big Night as far as like here's great Italian food.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what this movie and what The Godfather, what they do so well, that so many other movies came along and tried to sort of imitate them, but didn't get as. It's not just a crime movie. It's not just about these guys as criminals. It's
Yes.
also just about their world, their culture, their way of speaking. And I think this is why like Scorsese often gets pegged as like. It's like pro-crime, like he's making movies about crime being glamorous, and like he's not. But in a way, he's giving you these realistic, or they at least feel realistic. Look inside the worlds of
Well, I
criminals,
think I would say both.
which does humanize.
I would say both because he is making it look glamorous because there is an aspect of glamour to it, to being like a made man, and everyone, you get front row seats to Henny Youngman, and they give you that's a real.
With the Goodfellas or the Wolf of Wall Street, like it's a boogie nights, it's a rise and fall.
Yeah. And then
it's not a rise and rise. Yeah.
Then he shows you the price that takes on your personal relationships and your life and your health and all that stuff. Right. So he's not taking the easy way out, which is to say that like it's just a hard life. And it's miserable and everything sucks about it. Like, no, it is seductive.
That's why people do it.
That's why people do it.
If it was just like hard and that's just a job.
Yeah, you just have a job.
You could just go to a job because jobs exist.
Yeah.
You do that because it is like, like live fast, die young, leave a beautiful corpse.
And it's humanizing them in a way that it's showing you like why people would become criminals, which is not just like, well, some people are bad and they're evil.
Right. No,
and they do bad things. It's like there is it's not defending it to say there is an explanation.
It's just like joining a cult. Like they have their own morals and their own community, and they don't speak to outsiders, and it just normalizes everything.
And you could follow this journey without saying it's good or it's bad. It's just like, well, this is what happened. Again, with The Godfather, it's the same thing. It's like this was the immigrant experience. This was what it was like for people who were arriving from Italy and from Sicily at this time period. And like this is what happened in a way that is not pro or it's not moralizing, and I think that's what people kind of miss. Stuff like Wolf of Wall Street too, I think it's tarred with the same brush.
Yeah. Another great dorm poster movie.
Yeah.
For bros who didn't
like the next generation's dorm poster movie.
Exactly. He's made some great ones that. But this might be this is my second favorite Scorsese movie. My favorite is Casino.
Casino's my favorite.
Casino's
my favorite.
A lot too.
But not as popular. But we also, Ray Liotta.
No other Age of Innocence heads at this table?
I'm a Kundun guy.
I'm not being sarcastic. Age of Innocence is one of my favorites.
We'll do our top 5 Scorsese at the end. Yeah. And with that, let's roll on the Goodfellas Honest trailer. We'll stop and start as we see fit. A good movie. What a treat.
From one of the greatest living directors comes one of the greatest MCU movies ever made.
Yeah, that's right. The Mafia Cinematic Universe, huh? What do you think I'm talking about? Spider-Man over here? Come on, forget about it. Oh!
Now pause.
Good fella.
The fact that these are all based on true stories means that they're not trademarked. These are real mobsters. Someone could make a mob Avengers movie.
Sure.
Well, I mean, there's no reason why you can't have.
Who's the Captain America in the mob? Is this the movie fight?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we've got the heads of the 5 families, so there's like a natural hierarchy.
They're like S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, they kind of present like you have like there's already like positions or whatever. You just have to figure out like how you're sort of formatting the storytelling.
I think
we should note that they changed. These are all real guys in Goodfellas, but they changed their names.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like it's not
Henry Hill.
Henry Hill's real, but like
Hill's real.
the Tommy DeVito in this, I think is Tommy DeSimone was his real name, and the guy Jimmy Conway, who his name is Jimmy Conway in this, the real guy's name was different. Yeah. But they're all like 1-to-1, like it was a real guy.
I feel like Michael's Cap. Michael Corleone.
Yeah,
he's got to be Cap.
Yeah,
he's
Cap.
definitely the guy that could bring everyone together, bring a team together, and be the leader, the reluctant leader who takes them into battle.
Okay, but now you've chosen.
Gotti's the Hulk.
But like the Corleones are fictional, right?
Yeah, you're right.
But they're based on the rare. They're based
on. I don't know which family they're based on.
You'd have to go to the real.
All right, screw it.
Oh, Henry Hill is Hawkeye, right?
Kinda.
You've also got.
He's kind of Hawkeye.
It's almost more like a Watchmen
He's a wife
thing
guy.
too.
Definitely.
You do have 2 generations. You got to do like it's like the Watchmen or like 60s Shield, because there was that generation, the 60s, 70s generation, but you'd also want to do the Gotti generation.
Who's Scarface? Where's he come in? Does he
He's
count?
the generation before. He's the Prohibition era.
I feel like he's Deadpool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I get that. Fourth wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he'd have to be like he's like Cap from the 40s who comes back or something.
Maybe.
He's like prohibitionary gangsters.
No,
You're getting your gangster eras mixed up.
I don't care about that. I'm just talking about.
I thought the point was they were all there. You could bring them all together in one story.
It doesn't have to be true. we're making an Avengers.
This is a gangster's paradise.
I understand.
We're on our knees in the streetlight over here in Paris for the afterlife.
So you're bringing in like Nucky from Boardwalk Empire.
100%.
Like whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, Bubbles from The Wire.
Can we get? I want to get Denzel coming back as Frank Lucas from
Yes.
American Gangster.
There we
He's
go.
definitely part of it.
Oh my God. Okay, well then he's
your Black Panther.
he's your Black Panther.
Yeah. All right.
Helps the neighborhood.
I'd say help us cast.
Well, Harlem is your Wakanda. So Bumpy Johnson is T'Chaka, you know.
People are saying to leave Gotti out of this. I won't.
What?
John Travolta's Gotti is 100%
You'd never meet
in
another
this
character
film.
like him if you'd lived 10,000 years.
Never gonna be another man like me.
Boom.
All right, let's move on.
Forget about it.
I'd say comment with your mob of vendors in the comments below, but they're broken. So just scream it as loud as you can at your laptop. Let's keep
You're
watching.
wrong.
Who are
Keep
the
watching the trailer.
Eternals? That's really the...
All the
Throw in
Dick
a
Tracy
tank top, slip on the ring, and crack open a carton of cigs, because you are about to enter the glamorous world of the Italian mob. It's got everything. Fast bread.
I didn't have to wait in line at the bakery anymore.
Cool nicknames.
There was Pete the Killer, Nicky Eyes, and Jimmy Two Times.
I'm gonna go get the papers,
And a dozen of your best middle-aged guy friends for smooching on.
This is one of those things
Come
that
here.
it's just so natural for me to see in the movie. I didn't even pick it out and make a note of it. Like, it's just like, yeah, the Goodfellas kiss each other the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean,
What?
for me, I clocked it mostly because I think the biggest fantasy or escapism part of this movie was being a married guy with kids who still gets to hang out with all his guy friends all the time. Wow. Like he
not even the mistress part. Not interested in the
mistress
Jamar.
part.
No, just
like regularly seeing my friends.
like in the back of a pork store, you can play poker one night a week.
It doesn't have to be a special occasion that I need to like plan for like a week in advance.
Yeah. Like, who you have to like send out one of those things where it's like, all right, well, here's all the dates we all
Yeah,
have
here,
available.
okay. Oh
Here's
no,
the
I've got a
doodle.
thing. Oh, that's a dance recital for my daughter. Okay,
Yeah.
can't do that. Yeah, no, you just go to the store or and
go
in
to
back
the-
we're all
go to
playing
the-
cards.
So,
Yeah.
can I say
The social club.
how cool and refreshing it is that in this movie that is so much about like machismo and all that stuff, they do take time for like some male friendship and vulnerability.
That's
of
right.
being able to be like, you know what? Kiss the homie.
Kiss the homie.
Kiss the homie. You gonna kiss the homie? You not gonna kiss the homie? You gonna kiss that homie? Kiss that homie.
That's the real fantasy. That's the real glorification is homie kissing.
Yeah,
That's
there's a lot of-
Scorsese's doing.
yeah, there's a lost art of homie kissing. Really.
Just like masculine friendships that are rooted in that kind of love. I haven't seen such a thing since I was in theater school.
That's right.
Yeah, there's that scene where Pesci, it's a real famous scene where it's like, oh, you know, what, am I funny? Am I a clown to you or whatever?
Yeah.
And that's if you notice, he's telling these stories of being funny at his table. The whole restaurant is like listening to him and is like participating in this comic performance. And like, that's a real fantasy thing. There could be a place you hang out that's literally like a bustling full restaurant, but it's also cheers. Like everybody there is your friend. And if you get up and tell a story, everybody's just going to be like hanging on your every word.
Yeah.
Like whose life
That's
is
better
like
than
that?
the crime.
Mine?
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wow, great.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I'm a stand-up comedian though, so it's like literally everyone's taking turns and everyone around us is just like, oh my God, there's someone famous, and they're never talking about me.
That's almost the opposite. Where
No,
you
that's
get up,
horrible.
everybody pretends
kind
to
of
be
a
listening to
nightmare.
you.
They're
and
just thinking of the next joke
yeah,
that
they're
they can
secretly
tell.
like, I'm funnier than this idiot. That should be me up there.
All right, keep playing before this gets too real.
You too. Oh yeah, it feels so good to be a gangster. Mamma mia. Now smack me around a little. Oh.
Enjoy a milestone in representation for sweaty guys who are ugly and sexy at the same time. Like Ray Liotta's Henry Hill, an outsider who provides the movie's voiceover
If we wanted something, we just took it.
and its laugh track.
It's refreshing how hot it is.
I love that laugh. That one
It's
right
funny
there.
because it's someone else's pain.
So
Follow
pause.
along.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, R.I.P. to one of the
Yes.
greats, to Ray. We
100%,
wouldn't be doing
yeah.
this trailer otherwise. It just has been in our minds recently. So
Yeah.
this is definitely his most famous, most iconic performance. Though he's done a lot of great stuff.
I just watched
before.
Narc the other day,
Yeah.
which is so good.
Yeah.
He's amazing in it.
Yeah.
Really killer performance.
But his character in this one, he's really just like a cipher. Like he's just kind of your window in.
Yes.
And it seems like there's not much to him. Like, he'll just do or say whatever he needs to in that moment. But when you realize that this is all from his perspective, he's like trying to not implicate himself in a lot of things. Like he's trying to make it seem like, well, these other guys are psychos. Like they're stabbing and shooting and stuff. I was just kind of hanging back and trying to help my friends out.
They didn't even really want me in the club because I'm not like Italian. So I didn't even
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's one of the things, and this was like one of the notes that I had early on in the process was like, there's a ton of scenes of him. It's true that he's not usually the instigator. He's standing around while other people are doing the violence, but he's always laughing. He's never, hey, stop. He's never the voice of reason. It's like something awful is happening, and then there's a chorus of people like egging it on or amused by it, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And you see it in that scene with Maury where De Niro starts choking him, and his reaction is to go,
Right.
not, hey, stop, that's our friend Maury. And I think that's one of the ways that Scorsese shows you exactly that he's not, you can't listen and believe Henry at face value. He's putting the best possible spin on this for him, but then you're seeing more of the reality of what happened.
Yeah. I mean, right from the first scene where it's like, you see him in like a flop sweat, horrified as Joe Pesci stabbing a guy in his trunk, and that's when he says, I've always wanted, as far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a gangster. Like his face does not want to be a gangster right there. So that's your first clue that there might be a little something more going on than just glorifying that life. But great performance and just really ties the film together. All right, let's keep playing.
On his Rico-themed masterclass as he takes you from small-time punk to professor of hoodonomics until he's brought down by a Joe Pesci-sized mountain of cocaine. Oh, well, at least he learned his lesson.
Get to live the rest of my life like a schnook.
At least he regrets his choices?
It was a glorious time.
At least he was slightly more willing to clean up other people's blood?
That was the first time I'd ever seen anyone shot.
Vito, get a towel!
See? Good fella. But Henry's not the only mook in this Mookie. Before he was the Irishman, Robert De Niro was this Irishman, Jimmy Conway. And before Scorsese could de-age that mug, they just said he was 28, and we all went with it.
He couldn't have been more than 28 or 29 at the time.
Tommy DeVito,
I just assumed
who
that
combines
was
the
what
body
Light
of
30
Danny
looked like.
DeVito
It is,
with the
kind
physical rage of Wolverine. Make it happen, Feige. Lorraine Bracco shines as Karen Hill, whose Karen side only comes out when her husband's side chick is involved.
Mr. Superintendent, I want you to know, sir, that you have a living in hell.
Otherwise, she's one of the all-time greats at ignoring crimes.
I didn't think there was anything strange in any of this.
What happened to your car?
I hear skunk, Karen, all right?
None of it seemed like crimes.
And supporting them all is a legendary cast of, hey, I know that guys, like that guy, and that guy.
Pause. Sorry to do Paul Sorvino dirty like that, but I looked at his other credits, and you know him from Goodfellas if you know him from anything. I'm sorry, Blonde. I'm sorry. I know he was in Dick Tracy.
Lips Manless from Dick Tracy.
Yeah, Rocketeer.
Father of Mira Sorvino.
Father of Mira Sorvino. We could have put a picture of her.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, this Paulie is his one of his iconic. Also, a stage actor. Like if you were a Broadway person, you probably.
Oh, he can sing and dance.
I don't know if he's a song and dance guy, but a theatrical guy also known for theater performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, but I won't want to say he's not a song and dance man. I just don't know.
Yeah. He's great in this movie.
He's terrific and a great actor. Pops up in a lot of stuff, but usually more of a character guy.
Yeah.
And takes more of a central role here.
Yeah. I have more to say, but let's watch this last little bit about the Sopranos of it all.
If you're wondering where you know half the bad guys from, it's The Sopranos. It's always The Sopranos.
Carmine Lupertazzi right there. I was very proud of myself for spotting that one.
Yeah.
That's why.
It happens.
The crazy thing is, Goodfellas exists in The Sopranos. They reference Goodfellas. They talk about Goodfellas all the time. Is there ever that moment where they're like, "You look just like Billy Batts"?
Oh God, that like Julia Roberts moment in like Ocean's 12.
They're like half of them are in the, no, I don't think they've ever called it.
Is there any headcanon where like they all go into witness protection and then just resurface in Jersey and keep doing crime?
Oh gosh, I would love that.
Yeah.
Also, I just, it's I love Robert De Niro so incredibly much, and it's so funny to me that they have never paired him with the kind of woman that he likes on screen.
Not once.
Yeah.
Never.
One time.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the first time he could write something, he was like, I know what I'm writing about.
What did he write?
Well, he wrote the, Bronx Tale?
Bronx Tale.
Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
Got it.
There's
Okay.
this really funny story. I'm going to have to censor it. That was on Mark Maron's WTF when he had Robin Williams, rest in peace, on. And Robin Williams says that when he was like doing a scene with Robert De Niro, they were in a car and someone like walks by and goes, "Hey, Bobby! Hey, Bobby! You still love black?" Yeah. It's like the funniest thing in the world.
Well, there you go.
Call me.
Yeah. Really? Still?
Huh?
At his age? All right.
Look,
Hey.
hey, money he can afford. He'll figure it out.
There you go.
Some popsicle sticks. We'll make it work.
He's still Bobby De Niro.
He's still
Yeah,
Bobby
he's
D.
still
You don't
Bobby De
lose.
Niro.
Still slanging that Bobby D.
Listen.
All right, let's keep playing.
With great characters, incredible cinematography, and more quotable lines for dads than a classic SNL box set.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
To the point where you won't really care there isn't a plot. Just 2.5 hours of crimes and vibes. But if you dig a little deeper, you find the story of a resilient kid who survives a tough New York childhood, only to take dangerous amounts of drugs, get a new suit, join a powerful organization, and do whatever it takes to protect the people he cares about the most.
We're on our own. Forget everybody else.
Because I'm with you to the end of the line.
Oh, I could do this all day, man. Capiche? On my mother's grave. There, right there, is America's ass.
All right, Sopranos. Should we relitigate the whole Scorsese MCU thing?
I guess we have to. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Could we do like a condensed history of...
I mean, I think he was making a specific point, which is that these movies tend to press out all kinds of other movies from movie theaters, from the mainstream table, and he was like, and that's a shame. The mainstream public should get a chance to see all sorts of different movies, not just this one type of movie. And then he compared them to theme park rides. Right. I think in that sense, I think and it's something that we've seen a lot. Like a lot of people have pointed out independently of Martin Scorsese that if you go to like the Cineplex in a lot of towns, it's all going to be Doctor Strange and Top Gun Maverick, and maybe not as many screens showing Everything Everywhere All at Once, or I'm trying to think of even smaller things that are in theaters right now.
They don't make them, yeah.
Right, like exactly, and even on streaming platforms, like they get crowded out, and I think that's what he was trying to say. And it got misinterpreted as like superhero movies
are bad,
and I don't think that's what he meant to say. And if you look at the history of Scorsese talking about movies, he likes all kinds of genre movies. I don't think it's fair to say he's just like anti this whole genre. I think it's more like we relentlessly make this one kind of movie.
And I think that it's one of those things where when you're used to feeling like the underdog for so long, like you forget at a certain point to like reassess. Nerds, we won.
Yeah.
We are the winners.
Oh, we're dancing on the grave of other films.
Oh yeah, we are like tippity top tap dancing, and that's fine. As someone, I've been reading comics like all of my life. Like I'm a huge comic book nerd. Watching all of this happen was like really fun and interesting for me because I never thought we would get to this point. But like, I think nerds are so classically defensive of like what it is that we like that as soon as someone says anything, it's like, well, how dare you say that Endgame isn't high art? And it's like, dude, no one just shh. We won.
People tend to assume a lot of these filmmakers. You always get those comments where it's like, oh, they're just jealous. Like they're jealous that people pay more attention to Marvel than their dumb movies or whatever.
Do you not think that if Scorsese was like, I want to do a superhero movie, they wouldn't back up the Brinks truck?
Yeah, well, I thought he almost did Joker, right?
Yeah.
He was somehow involved in Joker.
He was involved early on, and he's a producer. He did produce it. But I think like these guys are coming out of a different era when a lot of filmmakers, like, they saw themselves as like advocates for movie fans or advocates for the filmmaking community. And I think it's less personal. people tend to assume like if Ridley Scott is like bashing superhero movies this week, it's because Ridley Scott personally has this animosity towards them. And like, I don't know if that's true, or Ridley Scott just feels like as a guy who's been directing for decades, I'm in a unique position to give my perspective about what's happening to the industry.
Also, people are asking them. It's not like Martin Scorsese is just like going somewhere and being like, he's on
Let me tell you a
Twitter.
thing.
Oh, for sure, journalists.
He's making movies.
Yeah,
he's
like
busy.
Whatever they just made, whatever they're promoting, like it could be Ridley Scott talking about, The Last Duel or Raised by Wolves or something.
Right.
They're like, what do you think about Deadpool 3?
And that is also like, because that's going to get more clicks.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
Raised by Wolves 3 isn't going to get the amount of clicks that Ridley Scott bashing Deadpool is going to get. Yeah.
But I don't know. I wonder about the economics, though, of like, were it not superhero movies, would we still be in this position of fewer films with fewer variety, or is it, or would this happen no matter what? There was going to be this move to streaming because home video is just a dead market. Like people don't buy DVDs enough to justify.
Decided. The studios didn't decide this. Filmmakers didn't decide.
Yeah, you voted
this.
with your dollars.
Yeah.
The public decided. They started to go see one kind of movie more than a lot of others in theaters.
Well, yes and no. Like the public decided in the sense that film is so much more international now than it used to be in like the early 2000s even, and the kinds of things that you can release simultaneously in the US and China and South America and everywhere on Earth are usually big, colorful things where aliens are shooting laser beams at
and this
other
is
aliens.
true. This is becoming, that's very true, and this is becoming true of streaming as well. Like because now Netflix is aiming for the whole world, and they're like, we got to grow much faster in Malaysia or in Jordan or in sub-Saharan Africa than in the U.S. So they're also thinking globally minded now too, which is I think a big part of why we get the red notification.
The red notification.
Yeah,
well, right, because
like those are broad and you can sell them everywhere.
And they're like the little pithy jokes that you could like easily translate for lots of different audiences.
Mugging works in every country. Everybody understands Ryan Reynolds making a face. That works around the globe, baby.
And I would say that there's an opportunity for enterprising or smaller film studios to make dramas, to make comedies, to make the kinds of films that are fading out. But I feel like, it still does happen. But I'd say that desire is being met pretty well on television. And it's to the point where like there's not an audience who needs to see the latest comedy or type of drama in a theater. They're fine watching an HBO miniseries. I don't know. I think this is just kind of the way it is. Like we theaters are going to be for theme parks for the foreseeable future. Until, I mean, the bottom could fall out of superhero films. I think it only takes like 2 bombs before every studio's can't spend this much money on them.
I have felt like there were 2 movies in theaters at once. Obviously, very different levels of success. Everything Everywhere All at Once and Top Gun Maverick, and they're both bucking some of these trends in some ways, and they both did not necessarily play huge in like China, and like they're more domestically driven hits, and like we may already, it's too soon to tell. I'm not saying we are seeing it, but we may already be starting to see a sea change where not superhero movies are going away, obviously not, but the hegemony of only superhero movies and big animated things and like 1 or 2 other kinds of movies can play. Yeah. Like we may be starting to see that dissolve already. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. In the meantime,
not that the comic book movies are going away. They're on the
headline. Lon thinks comic book movies are bad and should go away.
Oh, please make more. Joker 5. I can't wait.
Keep playing.
Up for a film with more headshots than a Call of Duty deathmatch. And more slurs than, well, also that.
Just stole my truck.
Like I'm here for or something.
You know who goes to jail?
This didn't seem necessary.
That cheap cigarette hijacking.
As this fast-talking mobster draws the audience in, seducing you into his evil world until you realize, just like Henry, that you're trapped, paranoid, and 6 ways from Sunday in another Scorsese film.
A lot of people don't like the third act of this film, but it's my favorite part. His drug-addled drive around, like the way it's edited and the way and the music and everything about it. Like a lot of times when somebody's on drugs, filmmakers resort to putting like a weird effect on the screen or like making everything like slur and blur. But the way he cut it and the way he just syncs it up with that Rolling Stones song is just it's the feeling of drugs.
Monkey Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts with you got Jump Into the Fire in the beginning, and then it goes to Monkey Man. There's one other song in there too. That's another thing he does is he cuts into and out of the songs randomly, which movies never do. Like in the middle of a jump cut and a needle drop to just be like, we're switching the song.
Yeah,
and it really does give you that feeling, that manic energy, like things are happening faster than you can keep up.
Yep, exactly. Love that sequence.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I like, especially the one that I will always like is when he's like, hey, like beckoning over to her, like, hey, we've got some clothes. Do you want some clothes? Just keep going. No, I'm not coming. No, just go to the back. Just keep going.
What do you think? Was he trying to whack her or what?
That's what I love about that scene is that, like, I think yes,
right,
but it could be interpreted like either way. Where it could be, is she paranoid,
right,
or is it that he was
the
going
guys
to,
in the room tell each other to shut up when they see that she's coming, which is a bad sign.
Yeah, bad sign.
It's a bad.
But that's the brilliance of it, and why I do think it is at the end. If you need your moral condemnation spelled out for you in these films, why at the end of the film they've all lost everything, and they have their closest relationships are turned against them. Their best friends are trying to kill their wives. The guy he dedicated his life to, Paulie, is like, here's $3,000. I never want to see you again. Like, after an entire lifetime of trying to help this guy out or serve this man. Like, that's as close to a prescriptive don't do this as you can hope for. People are like, it's glorifying. It makes it seem the food looks too good.
And that's what life is. Before you make a mistake, it's not obvious that you're about to make a mistake. Things seem like this is the thing to do. And then you realize later, like, these people weren't really my friends after all. And so, it wouldn't be realistic for him to right away, every sign is clear that he's on the wrong path.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have done it otherwise. This is a true story.
All right, keep it going.
Another Scorsese film that glorifies violence and toxic masculinity. As long as you ignore all the subtext, trust the unreliable narrator, and don't watch the last 40 minutes. But hey, there's plenty of entertainment out there for everyone. Perhaps you prefer something simpler, like a cartoon.
What am I, a plate of dry steak butt meat here to amuse you?
Starring B-Ray, Do Crime, Whack-A-Mole, Die Cousin Vinny, Bronco's Modern Life, Boss Hog, Hell to Pay, Unhappy Feet, Two Coke Girls. Oh man, I shot Stacks in the face. And the most in the movie, until Scorsese beat his own record with Casino and Wolf of Wall Street.
How the am I funny? What the
Yeah, pause.
is so
There's
funny about me?
two other ones that are in the top 5 and above. Casino.
One of them is that documentary.
One of them's a documentary about the word.
Yeah.
And the other one is something similarly like gimmicky, where it's called like Cursing the Movie or something like that. So I think he has the most natural.
Organic, farm.
3 of the top 5 most F-bombs in a film.
And I rolled a natural F.
And
he rolled a natural F.
And Jonah Hill in Wolf of Wall Street holds the record for the character who says it the most times.
Nice.
Donnie Azoff.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great. We should do it by the numbers on that. Like, is it overall Fs or is it like Fs per line?
No, it just numerically, Jonah Hill says the F word more times in Wolf of Wall Street than any single character in any other film.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Props. All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Jonah. Keep going.
Proud of you.
Me.
Get the out of here, Tommy.
I almost had him.
White menace to society. And it's kind of weird, the same year this came out, they made another movie about the same mobster starring Steve Martin. Honestly, Goodfellas is a classic, but it's seriously lacking merengue.
There's so much merengue in that movie. I don't know if you've seen My Blue Heaven.
I watched it fairly recently.
There's like 5 merengue scenes.
Love that for us.
It is wow. Your mileage may vary, but I got pretty sick of his mob impression real quick. It's not my favorite Steve Martin film.
It's a little gimmicky, but I really love it. I mean, it was a childhood favorite of mine.
It seems like
I'm a big fan. I was so into anything Steve Martin and Rick Moranis did at this moment in history. I was 12 years old when My Blue Heaven came out, so it was just like there was no chance I wasn't going to.
What do you do with all the baseball? Was there a big baseball scene, or is that Hook?
No, he ends up using a bunch of the money that he's scammed to build a Little League field in the town, which is how he wins over like the cop who doesn't trust him.
I might have slept through
portions
of this
it's a
movie.
charming. Nora Ephron wrote the script.
Yeah,
it's a charming and delightful movie.
Yeah, well, everyone check out My Blue Heaven and let us know in the comments below what you thought.
And it basically picks up at the I Gotta Live the Rest of My Life as a schnook. It's functionally a sequel to Goodfellas about Henry Hill after he went into witness protection.
I'm bringing up our chat here, and Kamau Jones, right? Did you notice the further connection between Goodfellas and My Blue Heaven? Nicholas Pileggi, writer of Goodfellas, and Nora Ephron were married.
Yeah.
So they were both married and being like, I'm going to take the story this way. You take the story that way.
I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to. Well, that's where she heard about Henry Hill. Like she learned the story from her husband.
Awesome. So, a lot of My Blue Heaven love in the chat. Keep it going.
It's great. Come on, it's so funny.
Yeah.
And what's that? Oh, I'm forgetting the old actors. Vincent something, who plays his old mob contact who he meets up with again in the suburbs. He always played like the very stereotypical, like very old man in the 90s. Like he's in Christmas Vacation as well as the like guy who lights the Christmas tree on fire with his stogie. What's that guy's name?
While you look it up, let's play any deleted scenes that we may or may not have.
We're on our own. Forget everybody else.
Because I'm with you to the end of the line.
Huh. Are we sure there's no middle ground here? These two sides aren't as far apart as I thought. Starring The Hills Have Guys.
Frankly, I'd expected better out of Jimmy the Scumbag.
Veto Power. Meet this fucker. The Threat Bandit. Leo Gets Whacked. Made and Men Splattin'. The Clown Prince of Crime. Married to the Mob. Fear a Sorvino. Stogie Soprano. Polly Score. Haircut Gems. The Shining. The Box Trolls. The Spider Prick Chronicles. The Many Saints of Footwork. Bad Boys for Life. Mob Deep. The Half Italian Job. Wise Guys finish last.
All right.
William Hickey was that actor.
Thank you.
The great William Hickey.
All right, here we'll start with a sacrilegious question from Aaron Matthew. Who would you recast Ray Liotta and Joe Pesci's characters as in the
like today?
Today,
like if we
the
were
2022 Goodfellas reboot.
Well, Joe Pesci, Mantzoukas.
Jason Mantzoukas.
I like Jason Mantzoukas.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Wow.
Just the energy.
Yeah.
I could see that.
And then Mulaney for
or just Shear and keep the How Did This Get Made?
Yeah, Paul Shear. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I'd watch they could do wasn't there a Naked Gun style movie about the
Jane
mafia?
Austen's Mafia?
Yes.
With Jay Moore.
Yeah.
I believe Jay Moore is the.
How's that hold up?
I haven't seen that in a while, but your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Let's see. Let's see. People are asking us, why haven't we done Turning Red yet?
I mean, first of all, picks are always hard because the movies are always very good, and there is an element of they're already very clever, and they're meta in a way, and like aware of the premise, and so it's like it's hard to comment on something that's already kind of commenting on itself. For me personally, also, I've said this to Spencer, I feel like Turning Red, I really enjoyed it. This is not a knock on the movie. It's so not for an audience of me that I feel weird mocking it. Like, well, yeah, but who gives a crap what you think of Turning Red?
But isn't that true of us in every movie? Who gives a crap what we think about anything?
These people should care very much what I think about most movies.
Very much.
Yeah.
Seeing some love for putting Tiffany Haddish in Goodfellas. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Oh, okay. Wait, in one of the the Ray Liotta role, or in as Karen, or who are we casting her?
I like her as Karen.
Yeah.
I think she'd be an excellent Karen.
She could be. I mean, but she could be.
Is
Judy
this
Conway.
the superintendent?
Keith Frazier, I don't know if you want to do this. Movie fight idea, pitch a Scorsese superhero film. If he, I feel bad doing that to him. Yeah.
I mean, Joker was already what would be comic book Scorsese movie.
I think he should take over Joker 2 because it seems like Todd Phillips might have a meltdown.
am unreasonably excited about Joker 2 being a musical.
So I
wouldn't have thought New York was the
stand it.
Scorsese movie they were going to riff on next, but here we are.
I totally did not hear about this until this morning, but Joker 2, is casting Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
They're in talks.
They're
It's
in
not.
talks.
It's
Okay.
not definite, confirmed, but
Yeah.
they're in negotiations with Lady Gaga.
And B, it's going to be a musical.
I can't
Wow.
wait. I am going to watch this thing like I watched Cats. I am going to watch this thing 4 times in theater. I will buy out a theater.
Light up cat ears.
I mean,
It's the way that we all watched Cats.
I can't wait.
it's literally. I think this might be my most anticipated movie of the next.
But yeah,
few
I think
years.
I could be more excited if there was a Todd Phillips went full Joker and he had to be institutionalized during the filming and Scorsese finished the film. I think that would take it to another level of like a Kubrick Spielberg AI situation.
Yeah, like Todd Phillips, total meltdown after the making of Joker, locked up, and then they let him out and immediately begins production on Joker 2. That's the narrative. That's what I want.
We had to put him in Arkham.
Well, being the Joker makes you crazy.
Yeah, he wrote the whole movie on the walls of his cell.
Using his own blood.
Using his own feces. Keith Frazier
It's
says,
going to be too twisted for me. You
Keith
guys. I
Frazier
don't
says,
think I can do it.
What if
Too
Scorsese
twisted.
did The Punisher? That's actually not a bad fit. I could see a grimy street level superhero movie out of him, but don't make him do that. He doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Any other questions, though? A lot of people chatting. I've never actually been in the chat like this. It's going.
They are chatting.
They're chatting it up.
Oh yeah, we're chatty chatters.
Overdue honest trailers from Pericles Dragon Balls. Overdue honest trailers for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Not gonna watch that
The whole
thing.
show? Was it 10 seasons?
Yeah, and Hancock. Sure, fine. And they.
Hancock is admirably insane.
I like Hancock.
I don't hate Hancock, but it jumps the rails to such a degree by the end that there would be a lot to say about it.
We'll close on this. Daryl Ailes asks, "Is Goodfellas a red notice?" No. How could it even be a red notice?
No, it could. It's just it's a crime. And if you could definitively say what the genre is, like right off, crime drama, then it's not a red notice.
No.
Yeah,
There's
unless they
nothing-
were looking for the magical cocaine. And they
Right,
had to
the
like
magic
go,
cocaine,
they had to like
yeah.
go around a bunch of different continents trying to find.
There's no gala.
It is. I will say it is kind of. It's funny without being like a comedy, that is one aspect of Red Notice that is there. But it doesn't have enough of the ingredients, and it's not straddling the adventure, heist, or adventure action genres.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting one. Van asks, can you name a mobster movie that wasn't really a mobster movie, that's like not in that genre of mob movie, but like I guess takes place?
Well, I mean, My Blue Heaven.
In a mob.
They are gangsters, but it's a pretty straight ahead comedy.
Bound?
Oh yeah,
Bound is a mob.
It's like a thriller,
film?
but
Yeah.
Joey Pants is the only actual mobster.
Yeah.
I would say Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, that Jarmusch film.
for sure.
I could see that.
There are a lot of very stereotypical, like Italian mobster kind of characters, but it's definitely not a conventional like mob movie.
Jackie Brown, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you squint.
I also feel like Suicide Kings kind of is playing around like a meta take on what a gangster movie actually is.
And Keith Fraser, who corrected me, no I in the name, excuse me. Thank you for, this is what the chat's good for, says there are comedies about mobsters which aren't mobster movies, like Analyze This. There's a bunch of mob comedies.
Yep.
They still have a lot of mob
I would
tropes.
say Analyze This is kind
My Cousin
of...
Vinny from Lucky Typhoon.
that one, because that's a legal comedy.
How can we forget? Beautiful, beautiful quality film. Good stuff, good stuff.
He's not technically a gangster. He just has that aura.
He's not. He's a
lawyer.
I guess you're right. Yeah. You just assume. Well, look at me being
Vincent LaGuardia
stereotyping.
Gambini is an upstanding man.
Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, this is
Marissa Tomei.
yeah.
Fine wine.
From
From a different world till now.
So we're coming back next week. Unfortunately, not unfortunately for us coming back. We're privileged to be doing this, but
Listen, I love my job.
I love my job until I'm in like hour 7 of next week's Honest Trailer. That's when I question how and why it came to this. Not so much for my job, but for entertainment in general. Just wondering what these choices were and why they were made, and how we all came to get on this big round anus. And that's your clip. That's your clip for next week. Thank you so much for watching.
Boy.
We'll see you then. Honest Trailer Commentaries. Bye-bye.
Jeez.